Good day, beautiful people. Welcome back. So now we are going to go to Module 2, which is Basic Speaking Techniques. This module is very important, especially if you are still new to speaking in English. Even if you are speaking English daily at home, it doesn't mean that you won't learn anything. Because speaking at home is not an exam-oriented thing. And it may be a bit different. It's easy, but it's different because in an exam, and if you already speak at home, you would definitely want to get full marks. So let's just go through this. Okay, let's begin with body language and posture. Okay. First, let's talk about posture. What you want to do is you want to sit up straight, not stiff, but balanced. And you want to keep your shoulders open and your hands relaxed. You could either put it on your lap or you could put it on the table. Say, imagine taking the exam. I'm sure you've done it before in your trials and your midterms. Your hands are just relaxed, not on your lap. And of course, when you're talking about relax, you also have to think about your legs. Some students, they shake so much that the whole body shakes. So let me just show you my hands. If you see, it's just relaxed here. Okay, then after that, your shoulders, your hands, and your face. Your face has to look at the listener. Do not look at the questions. Do not look outside. Or look at your friend. You look at the listener. And of course, when you just walk in, listener would be the teacher first in part 1 and part 2. Only in part 3, it changes. In part 1 and part 2, you would want to look at the teacher. When you look confident, you feel confident, the examiner will actually notice. Next, we go to eye contact. Eye contact is simple. You just glance at the examiner when you speak. Even digitally, if I really look at this, I'm looking at you, and you can feel that I'm looking at you. And it goes both ways. I can look at you, and you can look at me if your video was here. And even digitally, humans can feel that. So imagine when you're in front of the examiner, and you're not actually glancing at him. It brings a feeling of you are actually nervous. So you would want to glance at your examiner when you are speaking. But when it's part 3 and it's in a discussion, your glancing will change to your friend. So it would be good if you actually shift aside so that it's easier for you to look at your partner, your friend, when you're doing part 3, the discussion. So your body sends signal even before you speak. It's the body and it's the eyes, the face, smile. And when you do that, you will look calm and prepared. And your voice will actually follow. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is voice projection. Voice projection is important. Some people do not realize how important it is. See, if you imagine volume 1 until 10. Okay, just imagine the spectrum of volume 1 until 10. If I talk at 1, just because you're near me, and I start talking at 1, it's not easy for you to follow me because the words don't come out well. So I have to start speaking at 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is 5. However, if I go beyond 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if I speak at 10, sometimes I may sound angry. And people don't speak at 10 because it's not normal to speak at 10. So what you need to do is to find your 5 somewhere in the middle. Not 1, not 10, but 5. So you must always ask your friend, ask your teacher, when you're doing speaking, is your voice at a 5? A 5 means it's easy to follow and it is easy to listen to without straining. If you see your examiner straining and moving forward, you know that your volume is not enough. So remember, always speak at volume 5 or 6. Voice actually originates from your breath. Okay, the trick is breathing. A steady breath makes your voice stronger without effort. Okay, if you've done yoga before, you know. The yogis, how they breathe is they breathe through the tummy and not the chest. because the tummy can keep in more air. So if you take a deep breath, you have to let your tummy expand. And when you have a deep breath, you can actually speak much better and maintain a certain volume. Let me show you a quick test. This is a quick test. I'm going to release all the breath in my body. Okay, I'm going to release the breath in my tummy. And then now I'm going to say my voice is strong. But it's actually not strong because I don't have the air to be strong. I can't even speak at 5. Now that I've taken a deep breath, and then I can go to 5. So the trick is all in breathing. And this is something many people forget, especially when they are nervous. You have to always remind yourself that you have to take deep breaths, and while you are speaking, you have to maintain a natural breath. Okay? Because when you take proper breath, your voice will come out naturally. Then next, we have pausing and pacing. When you speak, you have to slow down. It shows control and it gives you time to think. You have to use short pauses to separate ideas. This also happens when you're nervous. When you're nervous, your brain goes to overload. It's either you speak fast or you don't speak at all. So when you're calm, you will actually pause when you're speaking. Let's just go through this example. Without the pause. I enjoy reading. It helps me relax and I learn new things every day. It's okay. It's not wrong. It's okay. But with the pause, it becomes better. I enjoy reading. It helps me relax and I learn new things every day. So the pause gives a sense of confidence and calmness in your speech. So your pauses make your speech clear. They stop you from saying and ah. Because another trick of the pause, another magic that the pause does, is it lets your brain think of the next thing that you're going to say. So learn how to pause. And one more trick that people who speak, public speakers do, is to have opening phrases. If you watch YouTube and you watch people giving talks, whenever somebody asks a question, they always start by saying, "That's a good question." Because one is they want to be polite. But the other reason is when they say that's a good question, it gives time for them to think. Say, that's a good question. That is around 2 to 3 seconds. Plus that with a pause, that's around, you get 5 seconds to think. So if someone were to ask me a question, I will first pause, and then I will say, that's a good question. And then I will start. So these are the things that you could learn to make yourself a better speaker. So these are all the skills. And then once we learn all the skills, we are going to use it for the actual speaking exam. Okay. So before we end, let's just go through a few words that you can use. Well, I think. These are the opening phrases that you could use. Well, I think. Then let me see. And finally, there's an interesting question. These short lines give you 2 or 3 extra seconds to organize your thoughts without sounding nervous. So next, we are going to stress and rhythm, and that will be the next video. I'll see you then. Bye.